have some footage you've given us and some photos and stuff, and I think it's time to tell the story of Mike Becker. So we're working on a documentary called Mr. Gorgeous about Mike Becker. And one of my favorite stories of Mike.
Yeah, I would tell it.
So during this wonderful makeover in this crazy environment with this sold out game and all of these people, Kim and I are like a brother and sister. We always say that, and we love each other, and we butt heads, and we laugh a lot and cry every once in a while, but. We were butting heads a little bit that day, and so I go into a restroom, and it's under the area, so with nobody in there except for me, but it's a large restroom with urinals, and and Mike comes up next to me, and I thought, oh God, he's gonna lay into me. Well, Mike starts I'm doing my business, he's doing his business. He's like, hey, you're a little stressed out today, aren't you? And I was like, yeah, well, I mean, your favorite line. I was like, your wife, fix it in post. You can't fix everything in post. And then Mike just looks over at me and he goes, yeah, but you gotta love her. And I was like, son of a gun. Yeah, you do. You're right. All right. This is the oddest conversation I've ever had at a urinal. And in fact, it might be the only conversation I've ever had at a urinal. But it was right. And that's Mike in a nutshell. I mean, no matter what, it was, he wasn't mad at me. It was just, I know you guys love each other. I know you guys are here for the same reason. Just figure it out. Like, both of you stop being stupid. But that was Mike.
Mm-hmm. That was Mike.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to be able to tell the story because I think that there are so many things that we haven't, we didn't know why. Mm-hmm. You've been out here several different times in South Bend and we've captured so much of that footage, but how great is it that we have, it's like bringing him back to life.
It is.
Right? Because we've got all of these old interviews that we did. And, there was one interview that you did that he had come out of the hospital and he had cold sores, all over his mouth and in his nose. And you guys, he was willing to do it. He sat in front of the camera and answered every question. And going back in and looking through that footage, it was all gone. And I can't imagine what it took fixing that in post, with all the little pixelated things to make sure that those cold sores were they were invisible, that they didn't show. And so I think it's amazing that we have all of these footage, this footage and to be able to hear his voice. But he was such a gentle giant and he loved Hello Gorgeous. And I tell that story all the time. People don't know that he sat in a hospital bed with IVs coming out all over the place and tubes hanging out. And every time his phone would ring, he would say, hello, Gorgeous, this is Mike. How can I help you?
Yeah, just the heart of a giant. And I mean, one of my favorite things about Mike is he's a great hugger. And when he hugged you with his whole soul, like
yes,
his whole person.
Yes, he did.
And you knew he meant it. And it was that he was one of the most welcoming people that I've ever met. So it was odd that you and I were having, so this year, I mean, you've had a lot of changes in the past few years. I've had a lot of changes. I got married. Last time I came out, I was single.
That's right.
I married my lovely wife, Lisa. We've had a beautiful daughter, Stella, who is the light of our world and just has changed me in ways and will continue to change me in ways that I can't even imagine. And it got me thinking, I don't know why, about Hello Gorgeous and different things. And I just posted something on Facebook, one of the old videos, and actually, one of them has Mayor Pete Buttigieg in it, and who's running for president right now. And I said, this is not a political statement. This is just about a great organization, and I'd love to do something with them again. I'm thinking about it. It's on my mind. And you hit me up and said, this is crazy, but your sister Trish and you, a couple hours before I put that post up, had just had the conversation about doing something with us again. And so we started dialoguing, and 2 months later, here we are.
Yeah, so it's awesome. And I was able to bring you in and, kind of meet my team because that's all changed. It's amazing. As we were talking about it earlier, the organization has evolved so much in the last, even 4 or 5 years that we used to run this out of our dining room. And now we've got, 12,000 square feet of office space and warehouse space. And our affiliate program has grown to 34 and 15 states. And it's so cool to be able to, but yet it feels like I saw you yesterday.
It does. I mean, and that's what family is like. It's like
that's
you
right.
don't see them for a year or 2 or 3, and then you see them. It's just like my sister.
Yeah.
I mean, when I get on the phone with my sister, it's like I just talked to her yesterday, and that's the way the relationship you and I have. But coming out here, it's really been cool to see how the organization has changed and grown. And one thing is that I look at the opportunities for future growth, and I think of where Hello Gorgeous can go. And I remember when we were doing the interviews in your living room and on your front lawn and things, and I thought, holy heck, how are they going to grow this thing? And now I see that. I see that, the people that, you've got some of the core people that are still involved, and you've grown with some new people. And I think that has revitalized the organization. I think your affiliate program is really doing well. I think you've come up with some other things that you've been doing. The office is beautiful. You now have the space to handle, physically handle all the things that you couldn't fit into your home. So I think you're ready. I think it's, I think I'm so proud to even know you and be a part of this. So
awesome. Well, and it was interesting because when we were at the retreat, we just had a retreat over the weekend, and we were telling our team, it's not just the makeovers anymore, which it used to be. Like the whole focus was just the makeovers, but we've got an opportunity now to help so many more women. We've got so many more resources that are available to help women with cancer smile when they look in the mirror. That's really what we want to be able to do.
Absolutely. And honestly, I go back to that one line from that one woman, and I think everybody's, like you've said a million times, I've heard you say, everybody's life's been touched by cancer. But as a man, you don't really realize, what it's like to have cancer and have all that stripped away. Because we're used to being, gross and disgusting. We don't think about that. And, guys lose their hair all the time, and who cares? And but as a woman, all those things that make you feel feminine. And I thought, it's just amazing. It's amazing that you give them this gift that, helps them to fight for another day and gives them the strength to carry on. And I don't know, I think you're changing lives in more ways than you actually realize. And it's really special what you do.
Well, I have the best job in the whole world.
Yeah.
I tell people that all the time. And I agree with you. I think it's the ripple effect of things like we don't see. But what's really cool about what you do is you get to bring what I do to life.
Yeah.
And in so many different ways.
Sure.
So that's my question. So I've been saving my favorite question.
Okay.
I ask everybody my favorite question when I meet them, although I'm not meeting you for the first time.
Sure.
But if you could do anything in the whole wide world that you wanted to do and you didn't have to get paid to do it, what would it be?
Oh, wow. It would be tell stories.
Mm-hmm.
I love to tell stories. I love to tell true stories. I love to tell, fiction, nonfiction. Just really putting things out there. I don't want to we do a lot of horror, but I think horror is a vehicle to, it might scare you, but it also is fun. We're not trying to put things out there like, there are a lot of reality TV shows that are kind of highlight the bad parts of people and the bad parts of our lives. That's not what we want to do. We want to tell stories that uplift people and give them hope or make them laugh and, or give them information that they didn't have. And those are the kind of things, I think in a very small way, we have impact on people's lives by doing that. And we're not changing the world, but maybe we're changing, 5 minutes in someone's life or 2 hours if they're watching a movie, and we give them a smile or a laugh or a scare or whatever. That I think is a gift to be able to do that. I'm lucky that I get paid to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, really it would be, and something I get to do for free anyway, is be Stella's dad.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought that one little creature could have such an impact. And everybody tells you that, and you told me about being a mom, and Mike told me about being a dad, and everybody else told me, and you don't realize it until you see her or him for the first time, and you think, oh, that's what they meant.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting here with you in South Bend, and I'm thinking about my girls at home, so.
And so that just, again, we just have a couple minutes left, but so how do you find that? For so long, we've talked, you were single,
yeah,
and your life was your job.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden you have this work-life balance because it
Sure.
really didn't matter. Now it does. You do want to be involved in your
Mm-hmm.
daughter's life, and you've got a wife that you take care of. And so what do you do to what do you do to find that balance, and how can you encourage others to find that balance?
Well, I think you have to realize what's important in your life, and then you have to make goals to make that a priority. And my wife and I have had many conversations about this. We just had one, as I told you, last Friday before I came out here. And we're restructuring things. We're bringing in partners who can do more of the on-the-road things that I used to do. And it used to be okay. And I said to my wife, it was hard enough leaving you after I found you. And now to leave both of you is gut-wrenching. I'll never not travel for work. but I want to travel less, and I want to have my family with me more. So that's what's important. And I found for me, I mean, finding my wife and having our daughter, and even the changes in my career since I've met you before, it was more about getting out of my own way and letting what was supposed to happen while I'm working towards things that I passionately felt called to do, and getting rid of all the garbage, whether that be relationships or projects or things like that. I'm supposed to be doing this because this will be, this will put me on the spotlight, or this will do that. Like, no, I want to do this because it's the right thing to do.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I am so glad that you were here and that you're in my office in South Bend. So thank you so much.
Your beautiful new office. Thank you.
If you want to know more about the guest on our show today or more about Hello Gorgeous, feel free to contact me at kbecker@hellogorgeous.org or visit our website at www.hellogorgeous.org. We invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and download our mobile app. Thank you for joining me today on Hello Gorgeous, everything beauty, cancer, and inspiration. I'm your host, Kim Becker, and until next time, stay gorgeous.